video, we will outline the major functions of the organs in the gastrointestinal or GI tract. This should hopefully relate to the BMS Level 1 Physiology and Pharmacology module. Here are the important organs that make up the GI tract. Starting with the buccal cavity, or mouth, which contains salivary glands. Then we have the esophagus, which is shown here as the long red tube. Then we have the stomach, and the liver, which is an accessory organ. The small intestine is very long and convoluted, which is followed by the large intestine, which is shorter. Finally, the rectum and the anus. Now let's explore each part in more detail. Let's start with the mouth, esophagus and stomach. Firstly, the buccal cavity, or the mouth, which is where teeth, tongue and saliva assist in mastication and lubrication of food. For example, the teeth mechanically crush food and enzymes like amylase break down carbohydrates. This creates a smooth, soft bolus which can now be swallowed. The bolus now enters the esophagus, which is a fibromuscular tube around 20 to 25 centimetres long. It lies posterior to the trachea and pierces the diaphragm. The esophagus consists of layers of muscle and mucosa which lubricate the bolus and perform peristaltic movements in order to push it into the stomach. We will go into peristalsis in more detail. This diagram shows the bolus of food inside the esophagus. Smooth muscle contracts to move the bolus down from the mouth, which is also assisted by gravity. The muscle immediately below the bolus is relaxed. This pattern of contracted and relaxed muscle continues on the entire length of the esophagus until the bolus enters the stomach. Peristalsis also occurs throughout the GI tract. Next we have the stomach. This is a J-shaped, bag-like structure that can stretch to hold around 1 litre of food and fluid. Here, muscles of the stomach wall churn the bolus via peristalsis. Proteases and acid are also released to assist in digestion, and the acidic environment helps to kill bacteria. The pH is around 2.5. Chyme is formed within 40 to 60 minutes. Now we'll move on to the small intestine, whose primary role is the absorption of nutrients. It can be approximately divided into 3 sections: the duodenum, into which chyme is released via the pyloric sphincter, the jejunum and the ileum, where the main nutrient absorption takes place. Bile and enzymes from the liver and pancreas enter the GI tract at point number 1. The ileocecal valve marks the end of the small intestine, as chyme passes into the large intestine via the cecum. The duodenum is a C-shaped tube 25 to 38 centimetres long and is the first section of the small intestine. It's involved in the enzymatic breakdown of chyme and the neutralisation of stomach acid through the addition of bile. Hormones such as secretin and cholecystokinin are used to regulate and control stomach emptying into the duodenum. The jejunum and ileum are the final sections of the small intestine and are together around 6 metres long. They are the main sites of absorption, so their walls are adapted to increase the surface area as much as possible. The jejunum has many villi projections to create a brush border surface. The pH is brought up to around 7 by the addition of bicarbonate in order to reach optimum enzymatic activity. Overall, it's hard to distinguish the boundary between the jejunum and the ileum, but there are a few key differences. The jejunum has a larger lumen and thicker walls. The ileum absorbs the most vitamin B12 and bile salts, and also contains more lymphoid Peyer's patches where the immune system samples the tract. Now on to the large intestine. It is shorter than the small intestine but has a larger diameter. The first section is the cecum, which is a pouch-like structure that receives chyme from the ileum via the ileocecal valve. Then we have the ascending colon, transverse colon, descending colon, sigmoid colon, and the rectum and anus, where fecal matter is stored before defecation. At this point, only indigestible food matters remain. Throughout the large intestine, remaining water and electrolytes are absorbed from the chyme, forming fecal matter. The take-home messages are that digestion and subsequent absorption provides the body with a continual supply of water, electrolytes, vitamins and nutrients. The GI tract smashes up food physically and chemically in order to do this. If you're struggling to remember the order of the organs, why don't you make a mnemonic? Here's one we did. Big, orange scorpions don't jump into cardboard rockets. Buccal cavity, esophagus, stomach, duodenum, jejunum, ileum, colon and rectum. Thank you for watching. We hope you found this really helpful.